to my mom's house, I was not tripping nearly as hard as I was when I woke up. My trip was slowly wearing down, but I was still like slightly tripping, but the fact that it was coming down is what made me think that I would probably be done with this whole high by the afternoon to like nighttime of today. But as the trip was wearing down, my anxiety and paranoia was starting to skyrocket again. And I'm sitting here and it feels completely different than it did the time before. This anxiety and this paranoia feels completely different. I'm trying to figure out why it feels different, but I just can't. I feel extremely uneasy. So once I got back to my mom's house, I instantly just curled up in a ball on my bed on the floor of the apartment because I was starting to spiral right back down to where I was last night. And at the time, I'd been with my current girlfriend for just about 5 months. I had not texted her one time since I started tweaking the fuck out. I couldn't look at my phone, I couldn't focus, I couldn't do anything besides focus on survival. Like I just was on the brink of just tweaking out at all this past 24 hours type of thing. And so now I'm finally at home, and this is the first time I start to realize that I have not texted her once. Right as I'm realizing this, I just start to feel worse and worse and worse and more terrible until suddenly I start tripping worse and worse. My trip starts to slowly creep back up on me, and I'm like, oh, no. Why is this coming back? How is this coming back? How am I tripping so hard? I start tripping super hard. I start getting super paranoid. I'm like, this is almost a full 24 hours later. How am I still this fucked up? How am I I'm sitting here. I just feel defeated. I feel genuinely so defeated because, like, I just don't understand how this is still affecting me as much as it is. And I had no idea what was going on. Every time I opened my eyes, I would just get so overwhelmed from this trip because everything was so trippy that every time I would just try to close my eyes and stay grounded, stay focused, try to stay calm. I would open them and I would be tripping so hard. I had no idea what was going on. It was so bad. And then I just kept getting super cold. I would get extremely cold. So I would grab this blanket and go to put it over me, expecting to get hot and sweaty, but I would just get colder and colder and colder and colder. And I had that like paralyzing pain where I couldn't move. Every time I would try to move, I would just twitch and shake and twitch and shake and twitch and shake. And I was shivering and twitching so bad to the point that my muscles were starting to spasm up all across me. And it would just be this terrible pain, this terrible spasm. And I just wanted to get more clothes, but I couldn't get myself to move. But finally, I got so cold and in so much pain that I forced myself to jump up. I put 2 pairs of pants on, and then I put 2 shirts and a hoodie on as well. I grabbed this fuzzy, the warmest hoodie that I had. And finally, I put that on, and I was slowly stopping shivering. But now I'm just laying in bed and I feel so dead, out of energy, completely drained. Like I feel like I'm just a vessel sitting here and this Desolum is just running its course on me. I feel so defeated just laying here. Like I genuinely don't know how to express how terrible I felt. This was like it felt like I was all completely alone, isolated from the rest of the universe with so much paranoia, so much anxiety, and just this sadness over me because this thing just would not end. It would not end. All of these emotions made me feel like I should have been crying and just curling up in this ball and just shivering, shaking. But instead, I was just staring out into nothing. And so I'm sitting here drained. I'm like, nah, I just need to try to sleep again. I just need to try to sleep again. I just need to sleep again. I don't remember when. I don't remember how. I don't remember how long it took. I don't remember shit besides falling asleep, having those crazy ass dreams once again. But since I fell asleep with 2 pairs of pants on, 2 shirts, and that fuzzy ass hoodie plus a blanket and like multiple blankets on top of me, I woke up sweating so goddamn bad. I was so wet that was literally the first thing I noticed. Like my eyes weren't even open and I'm like, oh, I'm soaking wet right now. What is happening? And that's when I realized that I'm being shaken awake. I didn't just suddenly wake up. I'm being shaken awake. And I'm like, whoa, what is happening, right? So I opened my eyes. I'm seeing like quadruples, triples, like I'm seeing like quadruple of everything. But the more I like try to open my eyes and focus them, it kind of like fades into 3 and then 2 and then it's still just 2. I'm tripping super bad. But that's when I suddenly see that my girlfriend is the one shaking me awake. I'm like, whoa. I half thought I didn't even wake up. My girlfriend shaking me awake. I look over to the sliding glass door next to me and it's just pitch black. But behind my girlfriend who's waking me up is my mom and my transgender ex-stepdad, half-sister's real dad, mom's ex-husband, but current roommate. Almost everybody from this apartment is sitting right in front of me just looking at me while my girlfriend shakes me awake. I half thought I didn't even wake up because the thing is, for those of you who don't know, I slept in the living room on the floor of my mom's apartment. This right here, this is a wall divider. This was my door, right? So I propped that up between a wall to the hallway and a wall to the kitchen and it would block it off, make it like a room type of thing, right? And so I see my door is wide open. My whole family's just staring at me and my girlfriend who lives over 40 minutes away is just shaking me awake. I woke up just like eyes wide open, shaking, so sweaty, eyes dilated as fuck, and I'm like, I don't know what is happening right now. My girlfriend immediately goes, whoa, my gosh, are you okay? Are you doing okay right now, right? Because she came to surprise me, and I woke up looking like I just had a PTSD nightmare and was about to strangle whoever's in front of me, right? She was like, are you okay? I could not speak. I literally could not speak. I knew it was about to be a struggle to speak, so the only thing I said was, I got laced. I got laced. Because I figured that would get the message across that, like, I took a substance and it turned out to not be what I thought was about to happen, and I am fucked up right now. And clearly, the message got delivered saying, oh my god, what the, you got laced, right? And so she starts trying to take care of me, and I literally, that's the only thing I remember from the rest of that day. I literally don't remember shit else from the rest of that day, besides just laying in bed with my girlfriend and just being in and out of sleep, tripping so bad, being so paranoid. But like, thankfully, it's literally a miracle she came over there, because the way I was feeling, I just needed somebody around me. And thankfully, finally, someone was there. I started to feel a little bit better. I just remember like being in and out of reality, just like laying in this bed until eventually I just passed out. I woke up the next day again, still tripping. And so we took this Deslam Friday night. We've officially went all the way through Saturday, and it is now Sunday. I don't remember Sunday. I don't remember Sunday. I just remember just waking up. My girlfriend was there. It was this whole confusing situation. I literally don't remember when she left. I don't remember a lot from this day. Probably the first 8 to 10 hours of this day, I don't remember. I remember eventually trying to record a TikTok to post on my account. I was like, oh my god, it's been 2 days since I posted. Like, I've been too fucked up. I haven't posted anything. I don't know what's going on. So I remember trying to post, and I was just sitting in the camera, so uncomfortable. Like, if y'all scroll far enough onto my account, and this probably would have been, hold up, just about January 29th or 30th. It was this video, and my eyes are probably still dilated in that video, and I just am so uncomfortable in front of the camera. I'm like trying to tell a story, but I'm just sitting there looking like tweaked out. I just remember looking at myself, and it literally took like probably 4 hours for me to try to even create one video. I was so paranoid. I forced myself to focus on this, try to make a video. That's the only thing I remember from that day, is trying to focus enough to record a video, trying to do some stuff. I literally don't remember anything else. I eventually just fell asleep. I woke up the next day, and it's now Monday. I have school. I set an alarm and everything the night before. I woke up still tripping. I'm like, oh no, this is so bad. I don't think any of this is about to be good. And so I remember I skipped my first period because I'm like, fuck this shit. I'm not gonna go do no like goddamn schoolwork, no math work, none of that shit, right? I'm not going to school right now. This cannot happen. But by second period, my second period class was weights. So I'm like, you know what? Fuck it. I can go to weights. I can make weights happen, right? So I walk up into school, and since I skipped my first period, James normally gave me a ride, but now I had to walk to school. So I walked to school. I ended up getting there, going over to the weight room, and I had a couple of my homies up in this class. And so I just remember going up to my homie Avery, and I'm like, dude, I am tripping so hard right now. I've been tripping for 3 days straight. I feel so weak. I feel so disoriented. I don't know what's happening, man. I don't want to be here, man. I'm just tripping, man. Just so you know, I'm tripping bad. I was like, what the fuck is wrong with you? You start speaking, and like, nah, man, you are not okay, because I was not okay. And so we go through these warm-ups on weights and everything. I'm trying so hard to act like I'm normal, but I don't feel normal whatsoever. I don't feel like my fucking movements were fluid. I feel like nothing was working. I remember this day, we went to go do bench. At this point in time, this was probably when I was going to the gym just about the most in my life. So my max bench was up to 225 for 1 rep. By this time, I pull up there, I couldn't even bench a plate. I remember they loaded up a plate up onto that bar, and I'm like, cause like after doing like warm-ups, I was like, oh nah, there's no way I can fucking do this shit, right? They put a plate up on there. I just remember lifting it up, instantly dropped to my chest, so painful. I got stuck. I don't know what's going on. I could not bench. I could not lift weights. I felt so weak. I felt fucking terrible. I felt like I was getting pinned down. I didn't know what was going on. They had to get the bar off of me, and then I just chilled out. I just sat in a corner for the rest of my weights period. I just sat in this fucking corner and was just there, not on my phone, and just staring, just there. I was so fucked up. It was such a bad situation. And then we had lunch after that. I was supposed to have a period after my lunch, but I said, fuck that. I'm going home. I'm not about to trip at school. Like, no. You got me fucked up. This is bad. So I went straight back home. Still don't remember much of that next day. I literally don't remember coming home. I don't remember anything from when I went home, anything throughout that entire duration of life. I probably made some TikToks at some point, but I just remember still being extremely fucked. Like, this shit genuinely had me so gone, so high, so fucked up that my memory erased. Gone from most of the days, most of those hours that I wasn't around people, gone, erased. I must have just been floating into my mind and just going like goddamn NPC mode. I don't know what I was doing. I don't remember any of it. I literally don't remember any of it. Unless I was around some people, I don't remember any of it. Or unless I had to use my full strength and focus to do something, I don't know what I was doing. I was just there. Like I said, a vessel for this Deslam to run off of. Everything from Saturday afternoon all the way up until Tuesday morning is just a blur. I was so unbelievably fucked up all of those days that I genuinely don't remember it. It's all just a blur. It's all just gone. I was genuinely just sitting there fighting my demons, trying to survive. But by the time it hit Tuesday morning, I woke up still tripping. Still fucking tripping. And now I had to go to like, cause my school does classes differently. Like I have 4 of my classes one day and then 4 of my classes another day, and they alternate days which 4 classes I have and then longer class periods. This specific day, I had math and English back to back, and I'm like, Yeah, no, I can barely even put on clothes and walk to school. You expect me to learn? You got me fucked up. I still went to my classes. I was sitting there the most confused and uncomfortable I'd almost been this entire trip. Even though I was not nearly even close to a fraction as fucked up as I had been, the fact that I was at school, this confused, not knowing what was going on, was so goddamn bad. And that school looked so, everything about that situation was just absolutely terrible. And so, eventually, I got back to school though. It hit lunch, and that's when I went home. I said, fuck that, I was not going to whatever class periods I had after that. I was still tripping, I was still confused. I'm like, fuck it, y'all got my attendance, that's all that matters, I'm heading the fuck home. And so I went home, and I remember almost shedding tears of joy when I was finally on the come down from this, because this was genuinely the worst thing I had ever done in my life, and this is why you should never, ever take that much Deltarune. Thank you all so much for watching to the end of the video. I am so sorry about all of the delays to get this video out. Not only is this the longest video I have ever had to edit and create, but we also launched a podcast the whole time that I was making this video. That's the main reason this took so long to get out, is because there were so many issues with the podcast. But there's one episode up, and the second episode will be dropping this Saturday. We'll have weekly episodes of the podcast up and on there, so if you want more stories, go check that out. I'll link it in the description. But I appreciate y'all watching to the end of the video, taking time out your day to listen to my dumbass yap about very, very stupid things. And also, I found out after showing this, like previewing this video to my homies, that I was so beyond gone, I've been mispronouncing Deltarune this entire time. It's not called Deltarune, it's called Deltarune. Not Deltarune, Deltarune. I just found that out. I didn't even know that's how gone I was, but apparently it's Deltarune, so that's why I was mispronouncing that for any of y'all curious about that. But I hope y'all enjoyed the video. Never attempt to recreate anything you see my dumbass doing in any of these stories, because they're all extremely, extremely stupid choices and extremely stupid actions. But I hope that all the stupid things I've done in my life can bring y'all some good entertainment. And if you want any more videos like this, make sure to subscribe and like the video, because we got lots more coming. But I love y'all motherfuckers. Hope y'all doing real good. Hope y'all only got positive energy. Much love to all y'all, and hope y'all doing great. Have a great rest of your motherfucking night, day, year, and life.
Yo, what's good, guys? It's Austin here, or Luna. So, you know, throughout the years, I'm not gonna lie, I've developed, well, not even developed, I probably had it before I even started doing YouTube. I have a little bit of a problem when it comes to ordering like DoorDash and stuff, and like just ordering delivery in general. Yeah, I spend a lot of money on DoorDash every year. It's actually kind of sad when I do my taxes at the end of the year and I have to like look at how much I spent on that. I'm like, wow, I'm an idiot. Like, I could have just like went and picked this up and saved probably $20. But yeah, you know, it's convenient, it's nice, whatever, right? You're probably like, Austin, why are you telling me about your stupid DoorDash addiction? I don't care. I don't care that you order food late at night. I don't care about your Taco Bell. I don't care about whatever you're ordering. I don't care. Well, from ordering food, I've gotten a lot of interesting delivery drivers. I've gotten some really cool delivery drivers, like repeat drivers that I see a lot, and they're like really cool, and like we know each other on a first name basis, and we're cool, right? But then I've gotten some drivers that kind of suck. You know, those kind of drivers that like leave your food at the wrong house, or like, you know, give you attitude about delivering your food. And I don't mind mistakes, right? Like if you leave it on the wrong house or something and like you didn't realize it, that's one thing. But I've had some people like literally leave my food at the wrong house, and I'm like, hey man, you left it at the wrong house. Can you come like bring it to me? Because you just dropped it off like literally a mile away and I don't want to walk that far. And they're like, can't you just go get it? And it's like, no dude, I tipped you $10 and paid the delivery fee so you would deliver it to me, not make me walk a mile to get it. Point is, I've had some shitty drivers, and today's story is about one of those shitty drivers. The shittiest driver I've probably ever had in my life. So yeah, let's jump into it. Today's story time takes place 2 years ago. Yeah, not that long ago, relatively recent compared to some of the recent stories I've been telling on this channel. Yeah, not too long ago, right? This all starts off like a normal day back then. I jumped up out of bed, took a shower, got ready. I had plenty of time to like just get ready and chill on this day. I didn't have anything planned. And about halfway through the day, I was playing some games on Discord with a couple IRL friends of mine, and I asked them like, yo, do you guys want to pull up today and do something? Like, do you guys have off work tomorrow? And they were like, yeah, we have off. So my friends, within like the next hour, pulled up to my house, right? And we were hanging out in real life at my crib, just kicking it. And we didn't really know what we wanted to do. I just wanted to hang out in real life. I didn't want to like be on Discord all day. There's some days where I want to be on Discord all day, and then there's some days where I want to be like social and physically, you know, in the room with my friends. And this was one of those days. So we're just kicking it in my living room, hanging out, trying to figure out something to do. And one of my friends was like, yo, we could go to this water park. Now, I don't usually go to the water park when I'm bored. I haven't done that since I was like a teenager. But you know what? We had nothing else to do. So I was like, why not? So we go to this water park, and this isn't really too important to the story, but I want to talk about it anyway because it's funny. We get there, and like the first thing we do is like we change into our bathing suits, obviously, in the locker room, and we go to this water slide, and we're in line. There's like a super long line for the water slide. and this kid's in front of us. This like 9-year-old kid. He's right in front of us. He's by himself. I don't know where his parents were. I don't know like where his friends were. But he was by himself in line, waiting on this big water slide, holding his little tube. And he turns around and he sees us all standing there waiting. And he goes, "What are you guys doing here?" And me and all my friends kind of looked at each other like, who's going to respond to this kid? Like, who's going to talk? And no one was responding. Nobody was saying anything. So I replied, and I was like, "Oh, we're just here to enjoy the water park." And he goes, "How old are you?" And I kind of like hesitated for a second, because I was like, is he about to like roast me? Like if I say how old I am? Like if I tell him I'm in my 20s, is he going to cook me? And before I could even say my age and how old we were, he goes, "You guys look way too old to be here." And I was like, "Hey man, you're never too old to enjoy a water slide." And he goes, "Yeah, you are. You are." And my friend chimes in, he's like, "Hey little man, like, you're gonna be our age one day, and you're gonna still like the water park, I promise." And he goes, "No, I'll probably have a job, unlike you guys." And I look over at my friend, and I'm like, "Yo, this fucking 9-year-old's like cooking us right now." And my friend's like, "Yeah, let's just ignore him." So we like didn't reply to him, and we keep like waiting on the line to go up to the slide. And we get up there finally, and the kid goes first. Like he gets on the slide and he goes to go down it. And just as like the lifeguard's like pushing him down the slide, he turns around and looks at us and he goes, "See you losers." And he goes down the slide. See, this little 9-year-old kid, he didn't like us very much. I thought that was kind of funny. But anyway, that was like the only part of the water park I want to talk about. The whole water park situation was fine, right? It's after the water park where the story time really, really starts, right? So we get done at the water park. It's getting late now and we're starving. But we were also covered in chlorine and, you know, we felt kind of dirty and we didn't really want to like be out anymore. So I was like, "Hey, let's just go back to my place. We can shower and like chill and I'll just order food for everyone. I'll order pizza." And my friend's like, "Bet." So we get in the car, we head back to my house, we shower and stuff, and we're just hanging out in my kitchen, and I'm on my phone scrolling DoorDash trying to find like food to order. And I said pizza, so I was looking at pizza places and stuff, like trying to, you know, figure out what we were gonna get. And I found this one place that I'd ordered from before that I liked, and I was like, "Yo, you guys good with this?" And all my friends were like, "Yeah, man, that's fine." So I went on there, I ordered like a super big pizza, some wings, drinks, stuff like that, and I placed the order. And then the waiting game started. And we waited for about 45 minutes or so. And sure enough, yeah, like 45 minutes or so goes by, and the driver pulls up. And I look out the window, and I noticed that the driver was in the wrong driveway. He was in my neighbor's driveway across the street, like 2 houses over, right? So I like went out on my balcony, and I yelled over to him when he was getting out of his car. I was like, "Hey man, like over here." And he goes, "What?" And I was like, "Over here, like this is the house, not that one." You know, just let him know that he was at the wrong house. And he goes, "Fuck, okay." And he starts walking over to my house with the pizza, looking very angry and like rolling his eyes. And I just kind of thought to myself, like, all right, like whatever, dude. Like maybe he's having a bad day, right? So he gets to my door. I go downstairs. I open the front door. And he gives me the pizza, gives me the wings, the drinks. And I put them down on like this little table I had by my front door so I could grab my wallet and tip him. Because I didn't actually tip him through DoorDash like I normally would. I thought I'll just give him cash tip. I don't know, just seemed like it'd be easier. I had some spare cash laying around, figured I'd give him that. So when I put the food down to grab the money and tip him, he goes, "Yeah, you know, finding this place was really, really fucking hard." And I was like, "Oh shit, really? Like DoorDash, like GPS or whatever didn't help you?" He's like, "No, not at all. Like your house on the GPS, it doesn't go to your house. It goes to that one that I pulled into." Now guys, I've GPS'd it on Google Maps, Apple Maps, all the maps. They all go to the right house. I don't know about DoorDash. I don't know if DoorDash has its own mapping system. It probably does. So he probably wasn't lying or anything. But he's talking like at me, like it was my problem that I needed to fix. Like he was like making it sound like I inconvenienced him. So I just said like, "Oh, my bad, man. Like, hopefully they fix that soon." And he goes, "Yeah, you should like message them or something." And I was like, cool, yeah, I will. Like, where do I go to do that? Because he's the driver. I thought he might know where to message support. Like maybe they had like a website or like an email, or maybe I had to do it through the app. And he's like, "I don't know. Why would I know that?" I was like, "I don't know. I just, you know, I thought you're a driver. Like, you know, maybe you know like a support number or email." He's like, "No, I don't." And I was like, "Okay." So I pull out the money and I tipped him very well for like the attitude he was giving me. Bro, I usually tip 20 to 25% of the order, but this order was a pretty big order and I had extra cash on me, so I tipped probably about 30% or more. I gave him like $16, right, or $17 as a tip, just because I was feeling nice, right? And I shit you not, he takes the money, looks at me, and he goes, "Huh, thanks." And it sounded like he was like really upset with the amount that he got. And I was like, are you like not happy with that tip or something? Like, are you okay? And he goes, no, it's just, it's funny. Like, you live in a house like this and you're giving me this much. And I was like, what the fuck is that supposed to mean? And he's like, nothing. He turns around and he starts walking away. And I was like, here, I have a better idea. Come here, come back. And he turns around and he comes up to me. I was like, let me see the cash. Let me see it. And he goes, okay. And he hands it back to me. And I backed up. I slammed the door in his face and I threw the finger at him through the glass window of my door. Cause nah, man, fuck that. Like, you got more than anyone would probably ever tip you all day. And you complain that it's not enough? Like, are you fucking kidding me? Also, I want to let it be known, my house wasn't even that, like, nice from the outside. I don't know what he was saying. He was acting like I was living in some mansion or something, and that, like, because of that, I should have tipped him more money. I lived in a pretty average-looking house. I don't think it was that insane-looking. But yeah, he was trying to assume that, like, because my house looked nice, that I should have given him more money. But, like, bro, given the fact that he gave me that fucked-ass attitude and, like, was being hella rude, he's lucky he even got the tip that he got. But yeah, he wanted to be a dickhead. So I took my money back, slammed the door, and I said, fuck you, and I threw him the finger. And he didn't like that very much. He starts pounding on my door, trying to get me to open it so he can keep talking, to which I grabbed the food, I turned around, and I went back upstairs to my kitchen where my friends were, and I put the pizza on the counter, and while I'm getting plates and stuff for us to eat, one of my friends is like, yo, are you gonna, like, answer the door? Like, the pizza guy's still pounding on it. And I was like, nah, I'm not gonna answer the door. Fuck that guy. And he's like, what happened? And I was like, bro, I went down there, he gave me, like, crazy attitude, and then acted like he was owed more money than what I tipped him. And my friend's like, what'd you tip him? And I was like, I don't know, like 16, 17 bucks. And my friend's like, what the fuck? That's a lot. And I was like, I know, that's what I'm saying. And he's like, dude, fuck that guy. And I was like, I know, bro. Like, I straight up, like, slammed the door in his face and I threw him the finger. I took my money back. And my friends were all laughing. They're like, no way. And I was like, yeah. And yeah, he kept pounding on the door while I kept, getting the plates and stuff. And then he started to pound on my door a little bit too hard. It kind of sounded like he was kicking it. And my one friend was like, yo, is he kicking your door right now? And we went downstairs all together in a group. And this asshole is literally, like, holding his hands up on the side of, like, my brick wall and, like, fucking kicking my door. So I swing the door open because he's gonna fucking kick my door down if I don't. And he's like, I wasn't fucking done talking to you, you piece of shit. And I was like, yo, get the fuck off my porch, please. He's like, no, how about that? How about no? And I was like, how about fuck off, bro? I'm not giving you your money. I'm not giving you shit. Our conversation's over. You want to be ungrateful, so now you get nothing. And he's like, oh, you think you're tough with your boys here now? He starts, like, walking into my house, getting face to face with me. And I was like, bro, I'm not treating you any differently than I would if I was alone, which was the truth. I already threw him the finger without my friends being there. I already took the money out of his hand. Like, nothing would change, right? And he's, like, getting up in my face now. And I was like, oh, you gonna swing on me? He's like, I might if you keep talking shit. And I was like, all right, bro, do it. And he's like, I might. And I was like, okay, so do it. And he wasn't doing it. Now, should I have egged him on? No, obviously not. In this situation, I was only making it worse. But then he said something really weird. He was like, give me my tip back. And me and all my friends all laughed. Like, in unison, we laughed. It's like, bro, I'm not giving you that money now. Like, you're being a dick. So I told that to him. I was like, bro, you're not getting that money back. You are being a straight dickhead right now. Absolutely not. And he goes, give me the tip back and I'll leave. And I'm like, bro, you're going to be leaving regardless. You either leave here on your own 2 feet, and you walk to your car and you dip, or the cops can just drag you out. Because at this point, you're on my property without my permission. So it's up to you. He goes, oh, you're a little bitch, I'm gonna call the cops. And I was like, I'm not gonna call him, bro, but if you don't leave, I'm gonna call him. I'm like, you gotta go. And he wouldn't leave. And he keeps getting closer and closer to my face. And my friends are just watching. And I was like, yo, are you about to kiss me or something? Like, what are we doing here? And he's like, yeah, you probably like that, wouldn't you? And I was like, no, I wouldn't like it, bro. Can you please leave? And he goes, okay, money first. And I was like, dude, do you really need 16 bucks that bad? He's like, yeah, give it back to me. And I was like, no, I'm not fucking giving it to you. And then this dude has the audacity to go, why not? And I was like, bro, why the fuck do you think? And he's like, I don't know. And I go, all right, man, here, how about this? You tell me what you did wrong and you apologize for it, and I'll give you the 16 bucks back, okay? And he's like, I didn't do anything wrong. And I was like, okay. Have a nice day, man. Please leave. And he actually listens. He just, like, shrugs his shoulders, rolls his eyes at me, and he walks out my door. And I close the door, I lock it behind him, and I'm like, all right, finally that's over with. And I watched him from the front door window walk to his car, get into his car, and drive off. After that, me and my friends went upstairs, we sat down at the table, we were in disbelief at what just fucking happened, and we spent the next 30 minutes eating the pizza kind of quietly and just being like, yo, what the fuck just happened? Like, I remember towards the end of us eating, one of my friends looked at me and he was like, yo, you got another story time for your channel. And I was like, honestly, man, I don't think that's story worthy. He's like, what do you mean? And I was like, I don't know, like, it was kind of crazy, but like, nothing really happened that I feel like made it worthy to be on my channel. He's like, dude, are you fucking kidding me? Like, that dude was trying to kick your door down. He's like, in your face, like some pizza guy trying to fight you. That's insane. And I was like, yeah, I mean, yeah, maybe you're right. Okay, yeah, I'll think about it. Yeah, well, little did I know, this story time was about to get a whole lot more story worthy, like, you know, YouTube channel worthy, in just a few hours. So yeah, like 3 hours go by. At this point, me and my friends are in my living room just hanging out. They're gonna be going home soon. As a matter of fact, one of my friends was literally putting his shoes on, about to leave. When all of a sudden, I see headlights pull into my driveway. So the way my house was set up was the living room window kind of outlooked on the driveway. So if someone pulled in, you could see their headlights like bouncing off the ceiling in my living room, and like you can kind of see their headlights. So I ran over to the living room window to see who was pulling into my driveway, and I assumed it was just gonna be like a car turning around or something, because sometimes people would use my driveway to turn around. But when I looked in the driveway, I saw 2 cars. Yeah, 2 fucking cars in my driveway. And one of them looked very familiar. One of them was the same exact car that delivery driver was driving just a few hours ago. And I turned around and I looked at my friends and I was like, yo, come look at this shit. And they run over to the window and they're looking. And my one friend goes, yo, is that the delivery driver? And I was like, bro, I think it is. It's the same fucking car, isn't it? And he's like, yeah. And just right after we say that, bro, literally right after he says it, the door opens up and this guy gets out, the fucking delivery driver. And then the other door opens up to the other car. This random guy gets out. And now there's 2 guys coming up to my front door. And I was like, yo, what the fuck is going on right now? Like, seriously, what is going on? So, me and my friends go downstairs, go up to the front door. They're knocking on it. I open the front door. I shouldn't have. I should have just let them knock and just let them get bored and leave. But I entertained it. I opened the front door, and these 2 guys are standing there on my porch. And I was like, what the hell do y'all want, man? Like, what is going on right now? And this random guy, I'm assuming it was the delivery driver's friend, he speaks up. He's like, I'm here for my buddy. I heard you robbed him earlier. I was like, what the fuck are you talking about? I robbed him earlier. No, I didn't rob him earlier. I gave him a tip, gave him some money. He was super fucking rude, so I took the tip back. And he goes, yeah, that's robbing people. I was like, no, it wasn't. He handed me the money, and I closed the door. I didn't rob him. What the fuck? But this guy was literally making it sound like I fucking put a gun to his head and was like, give me back my $16, bitch. Like, that just didn't happen. So after I explained to him what really happened, he still didn't believe me. He was like, no, I heard that you robbed my boy. And I was like, nah, I didn't. And I slammed the door in their face. I just closed the door and I locked it. And me and my friends went back upstairs, and they just kept knocking. They kept knocking for like probably 10, 15 minutes straight, right? Just not stopping. And I didn't care. I was like, nah, man, fuck that. We're ignoring them. We're not answering the door. Like, let them get bored. Let them tire themselves out. Eventually, they'll get back in their cars and they'll drive off. And this fucking psycho stalker DoorDash driver will leave me alone, right? Well, I was wrong. Because after they knocked for about 15 minutes, I looked out my window and they were just standing by their cars looking up at the window at me. And I was like, what the hell is wrong with these guys, man? Like, they won't leave. And they ended up hanging out, like, in front of my house for another 15 minutes until finally my friend came up and was like, yo, we should probably call the cops. And I was like, I don't really know if it's worth it, man. Like, they're just standing out there. Like, I don't think they're gonna do anything. And my friend's like, bro, they're weird, man. I don't trust them. Like, we should call the cops. And I was thinking about it, right? I was about 50-50 on that. Part of me wanted to call the cops. Like, part of me wanted to do it because I knew the cops would get them to leave. But the other part of me didn't want to involve the police and go through like the, process of potentially making a report or something, Now, I will say, if any of you ever find yourself in a situation like this, just call the cops. If there's 2 random people banging on your door, being hostile and being weird, like, call the fucking cops. I should have called them immediately when the dude tried to get into my house to get the money back. But, yeah, I was just being stupid, I guess. Well, anyway, I'm standing there, right? And I'm thinking, and like 5 minutes later, while I'm still thinking if I want to call the cops or not, I see one of the people, not the DoorDash driver, but his friend, go into his car. He pops the trunk, and I see him grab a baseball bat out of his trunk. And then I see the DoorDash driver go into the same trunk and grab some tool, like some big wrench or something. And I'm like, okay, now I'm calling the cops. They got a fucking baseball bat and a wrench, and they're in front of my house with weapons now. Like, I'm calling the cops. So I call up the police, right? I call them up. And this operator answers. She's like, 911, what's your emergency? I was like, hey, so I had this DoorDash driver earlier, and he was being rude, so I took his tip back. And then he got mad and tried to like break into my house by kicking down the door, and he came into my house and argued with me, and it was really a lot, right? Like, I didn't know what this guy's problem was. Well, he returned back to my house a few hours later, and now he's in my driveway with some random guy. One of them has a baseball bat, one of them has a wrench of some sort. They're clearly trying to threaten me with these like weapons. I don't really know if they're capable of doing anything or not, so I'm just not going to take the chance. That's why I'm calling you guys. Can you come and help me? I just want them to leave. And she's like, oh yeah, like that sounds horrible. Like, don't worry, like we're on the way. And you know, she's being a good operator, right? And I'm waiting. And I go out on my balcony while I'm on the phone with them, and I look down and I see these two dickheads still in my driveway with their bat and their wrench. And they're just standing there, like holding it in both hands, just like staring up at me. And they could visibly see me on the phone. They probably knew I was on the phone with the cops, but they did not care. They just stood there super ominously, just staring up at me, looking real menacing, right? Looking real weird. And yeah, I just stayed on the phone with the cops until they got there. They sent 2 police cars, and it did not take them very long to arrive. They arrived within like probably 7-8 minutes. It was pretty quick, right? Pretty fast. When the cops pulled up, immediately one of them jumped out of their car and was like, oh guys, what are you doing? Put those down right now. And they listened. One of them dropped the bat, one of them dropped the wrench, and the cops walked up to him and started talking to him, right? And that's when I went down there, and I went out there and I started talking to the cops as well. And they're talking to one cop, I'm talking to the other, and I'm just basically telling my side of things. I was like, yeah, you know, he was a DoorDash driver, he was mad that I took his tip away. And while I'm explaining the story to this cop and like letting him know what happened, I could see the cops like face get visibly more and more disgusted with the actions of this DoorDash driver. Like when I was done telling him what happened,